My fiancée texted, "Can't talk right now, stuck in meetings all day." I responded, "No problem." Then her boss called me asking why she wasn't at work. She called in sick. I checked our Ring camera and saw her leaving with another man that morning. When I played the footage at family dinner that night, I swear I could hear my own heartbeat louder than anyone's breathing. My name's Daniel, 33, and until that night, I thought I knew what love and loyalty meant. Claire and I had been together for almost 5 years, engaged for one, planning a summer wedding that her mother had practically turned into a Broadway production. We met at a mutual friend's cookout. She laughed at my terrible grilling skills, and something about her smile made me think she was the kind of person who would never hurt anyone on purpose. I was wrong, obviously. That morning she told me she had back-to-back client meetings. She even apologized in advance for not answering calls. I told her it was fine, made coffee, kissed her on the cheek, watched her grab her laptop bag, and thought nothing of it. Then around 9:30, I got a call from a number I recognized. Her manager, Pete. He sounded concerned. Asked if Claire was okay because she called in sick with food poisoning. I froze, the kind of cold that starts in your stomach and spreads to your chest. I hung up, checked the Ring notification on my phone, and there she was, 7:42 a.m., walking out of the house in jeans and a gray sweater, holding hands with someone I didn't recognize. Not just walking, laughing, leaning into him like she used to do with me. I replayed it twice because part of me hoped it was some cruel optical illusion. But no, it was her and it was real. My first instinct was confrontation. My second was proof. So I spent the day pretending nothing was wrong, saved the video, and texted her around noon saying, "Hope you're feeling better." She responded with a little heart emoji. I think that hurt more than the video. I worked from home in silence until evening, every minute replaying our years together like a movie I didn't realize had an alternate ending. Her mom had invited us for dinner that night. Family catch-up, wedding updates, that sort of thing. I almost canceled, but something in me wanted the truth to come out where masks couldn't survive. I transferred the Ring footage onto my phone, drove over, and told myself to keep my hand steady. When we arrived, she was all smiles, introducing me to her cousin visiting from out of town, pouring wine, acting like the perfect partner. I played along. Maybe that was cruel of me, but I needed witnesses. Halfway through dinner, her mom asked if we finalized our guest list. Claire said yes, squeezed my hand, and joked that we were the most boring couple alive. Everyone laughed except me. I pulled out my phone, connected it to their TV via Bluetooth, and said, "Actually, I want to show you all something." The room went quiet. On screen, the Ring feed began. Her walking out that morning, the man's car door opening, their quick kiss before they drove off. Claire's face drained of color in less than a second. Her fork clattered. Her father looked at me, then back at her. "Is that you?" he asked. She started to say something, but her voice cracked, and that was it. Truth laid bare. Her mom gasped, stood up, yelled her name. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just looked at her and said, "You told me you were in meetings." She stammered. "It's not what it looks like," which, considering I had HD proof, was almost funny. Her cousin excused herself, muttering, "Oh my God," under her breath. Claire tried to reach for me, saying it was a misunderstanding, that she could explain. I told her not to. I thanked her parents for dinner, stood up and said, "You all take care." Then I walked out. She followed me to the driveway, crying, saying she made a mistake, that it was one time. But her boss's call had already told me it wasn't. I got in the car, locked the doors, and drove off. The silence afterward felt like a vacuum. No music, no noise, just the dull hum of tires and betrayal. When I got home, I sat in the dark and watched the footage again, not because I needed more pain, but because disbelief still lingered. I noticed details I'd missed before. The way she looked over her shoulder like she knew she was lying. The casual familiarity of their body language. You don't hold hands like that if it's new. I started connecting dots. Business trips that didn't add up. Late nights at networking events. Times she came home with perfume that wasn't hers. All those red flags I painted white. Over the next week, She tried to call me dozens of times. I ignored them all except one text where I said, "We're done." Then came the apologies, the explanations, the "it was complicated" messages. Finally, a long paragraph blaming stress, loneliness, saying she didn't know why she did it. I didn't reply. Her mom texted me separately, saying she was ashamed and that Claire was going through something. I almost laughed. Everyone's always going through something. Not everyone destroys another person in the process. I focus on logistics. I had paid for part of the wedding deposit. So I contacted vendors and canceled everything under my name. Lost some money, but I considered it tuition for learning the truth. Her mother offered to reimburse me. I declined. I wanted no further ties. Then came the fallout. Her dad apparently confronted the guy. Turned out to be someone from her old firm, married with kids. His wife found out through social media when word spread. I didn't want to gloat, but karma worked faster than I ever could. The man got fired. Claire's reputation at work tanked, and she eventually moved back in with her parents. She sent one final email titled, "Please read." In it, she said she still loved me, that she'd ruined her life, that she hoped someday I could forgive her. I archived it without replying. The Ring camera that once showed her leaving became my unwanted therapist. I couldn't look at it for weeks. Every notification made me flinch. I finally took it down, not because I wanted to forget, but because I didn't need constant reminders of what betrayal looked like in 1080p. My friends told me I handled it like a saint. I didn't feel like one. I felt hollow but clear-headed. The thing about betrayal is it doesn't just kill trust in others. It forces you to examine your own blind spots. Why didn't I notice sooner? Why did I ignore the signs? I realized I'd been in love with an idea, not a person. The idea that someone could love me unconditionally if I just did everything right. But love doesn't work that way. Sometimes you can give everything and still lose. And that's not your failure. That's just life being brutally honest. A few weeks later, Claire's brother called me out of the blue and asked if we could meet for coffee. Said he wanted to talk man to man. I agreed, mostly out of curiosity. He told me she'd been in a pretty bad state, crying all day, refusing to leave her room, that their parents were furious but still worried. He said he wasn't trying to make excuses, just wanted me to know she realized what she'd done. I told him I appreciated the update, but that I couldn't be the one to help her heal from a mess she created. He nodded, looked embarrassed, and said he understood. That was the last contact I had with any of them for months. During that time, I went through a strange mixture of grief and freedom. Mornings were the hardest. I'd wake up expecting to hear her humming in the kitchen. Evenings got easier. I started running again, picked up woodworking, spent time with my sister and her kids. People kept telling me I'd bounce back stronger, but healing doesn't work on motivational poster timelines. It comes in quiet waves. You cook dinner for one without feeling lonely. You go a full day without replaying the footage. You stop checking her social media because you genuinely don't care anymore. One night, about 4 months after the breakup, I got a letter in the mail addressed in her handwriting. Inside was an apology written on lined notebook paper, not fancy stationery, just raw scribbles. She said she'd been in therapy, that she realized she'd sabotaged everything good in her life, that she missed not just me but the version of herself she was when she was with me. She said she didn't expect forgiveness, but hoped I'd remember at least some of the love we shared. I read it twice, folded it back, and put it in a drawer, not because it meant nothing, because it meant exactly enough. I wasn't angry anymore, just done. Around that time, I bumped into her mother at the grocery store. She looked older, worn down. She apologized, genuinely, said she'd always considered me family, and that she wished things had gone differently. She also said Claire was planning to move to another state for a fresh start. I told her I hoped it worked out. Then I thanked her for the kindness she'd shown me before everything went to hell. We hugged briefly. It was strange, comforting but sad, like closing a book you once loved. Later that year, I sold the house we'd shared. Too many ghosts. Bought a smaller place closer to my job. Minimal furniture, clean lines, quiet. Installed a new security system, but no Ring camera. I didn't need to record life anymore. I just wanted to live it. On what would have been our wedding weekend, I took a solo trip to the mountains. No phone signal, just trees, wind, and time to think. The first night there, I sat by a campfire and let everything play out in my mind one last time. The text, the call from her boss, the video, the dinner, the silence afterward. Instead of pain, I felt this weird gratitude. I'd seen the truth before it was too late. A part of me wondered how many people get married every day to someone living a double life and never find out. That thought scared me more than anything. When I got back home, there was a voicemail waiting. Her voice soft, saying she was sorry for disturbing me, but wanted to tell me she'd started a new job in a different city, that she was trying to rebuild, that she hoped I was happy. She ended with, "You were the best thing that ever happened to me." I deleted it, not out of anger, just closure. Life went on. A year passed. People stopped asking questions. I started dating again cautiously, telling myself not to let one person's betrayal rewrite my entire understanding of love. Eventually, I met someone, Emily, funny, grounded, nothing like Claire. We took things slow, honest from the start about our pasts. When I finally told her the full story, she just listened, no judgment, and said, "You handled it with more grace than most people could." Maybe I just ran out of energy to be bitter. Claire's brother reached out once more, told me she was engaged again to someone she met through church, that she'd been sober for a while and seemed genuinely better. I wished them well through him. The truth is, I don't hate her. I don't even wish things had gone differently anymore. She taught me boundaries, the importance of listening to actions instead of words, and that sometimes walking away quietly is the loudest statement you can make. Now and then I still think about that family dinner, the stunned silence, the way the screen glowed against the tablecloth as the video played. It felt cruel at the time, but it was the only way everyone saw the truth simultaneously. No denials, no spin. People ask if I regret doing it that way. I don't. That footage was a revenge. It was accountability. Everyone deserves to see reality unedited, even if it burns. These days, when the doorbell rings, I still glance toward where that Ring camera used to be, a reflex I can't quite kill. But instead of anxiety, it reminds me that truth always leaves evidence, and lies always leave patterns. I learned to read both. The best revenge I ever got was peace. Claire once told me during one of our good years that she loved how calm I was, that nothing ever seemed to shake me. I think about that sometimes, how the very calm she admired became the thing that destroyed her lies. She expected screaming, chaos, drama. She got a mirror instead. Now, when people tell me their relationship troubles, I don't preach or rant. I just say this: believe what you see, not what you're told. Cameras record facts, but your gut records truth. And when both line up, don't ignore it. That's the whole lesson. That's the closure. And as strange as it sounds, I'm grateful to a little piece of technology for showing me the real ending of a story I'd been pretending was perfect. Because the moment that video played, I stopped living in fiction. I became free.